Okay, I'm recording already.
Okay.
So let me bring up the assignment again. All right, you want to take over, Ram?
Okay, so the goal of this assignment is to write the synopsis. Each one would write the synopsis of their paper, and then we will discuss it and present it. And then we do have the format that was shown by Dr. Hatta in the RBE501.zip, which we are going to use to write the synopsis in. Two ideas I'm thinking of is when we're writing the synopsis, we can write it as if we are summarizing each section of the paper, basically summarize the introduction, summarize the methodology, and then the discussion and the conclusion. Or another way is to highlight in each of those sections, and this is what I think is meant in this assignment. So by highlight where the innovation is and where the significance is. So for example, when we speak about the methodology, we highlight what's innovative about the methodology used and what's significant about it and why. When we go to the results, we do the same thing. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think I concur with what you're saying. Maybe for significance and innovation, since based on the video from Professor Hatta, innovation, we have to take it from like analyzing the complete paper. However, significance, there's keywords in the introduction, in the initial sections of the paper that you can take the significant out of.
Yep.
So going back to what you were saying, so we can just summarize a high-level summary of each section, but then somehow on the sections that apply, maybe on the introduction, maybe on the methods and materials and methods, we can highlight in that same summary where the significance and innovation is within those paragraphs. And then, yeah, because he's highlighting here significance, innovation, methods, and results. So maybe we could be also a little bit creative on the methods and results sections. And since he has its own format on how he wants to see it, maybe we can also elaborate a little bit on that, on those sections, like not necessarily directly talking about the document only, but also explaining how the format complies with the format that Professor Hatta wants us to follow. So I guess, so a synopsis is not just a summary of the paper, but it's kind of a higher level analysis.
Yes. I mean, to explain it or to visualize it better, you remember when we first watched the video of how they do the analysis in the NIH of papers and how they discuss and read the papers? So
right.
I believe it's as if we are, each one of us is criticizing technically the paper with evidence and with data and saying what we like and why we like it. So we basically are supporting our point of view with some evidence and trying to critique or analyze the paper as if we are members in the NIH review board.
And I totally agree. My doubt or my questions would be, if we have to follow exactly this layout. You see my screen, right?
Yep.
If we have to follow exactly this layout, like background, method, validation study, metrics, data analysis, results, because again, that would be kind of a summary of the document, and that is not the intention. So my question is, can we deviate from this format a little bit? Like, for instance, if we want to talk significance, then we could have a section that states significance and another one that states innovation of the paper. You see what I mean?
Yes, but I understand what you're saying, and you could, I think you could do that, but the way I'm seeing it in a slightly different way, where, for example, when you speak about the background, so let's say we're reading this paper and it's speaking about the dexterous instrument is needed in the combined endoscopic third, and so on and so forth. And it speaks about, and then the objective. The goal of this paper is to develop and validate wire-driven multisection. Significance. The robot the authors present may improve and expand the repertoire of technique available to, okay, innovation. The robot present in this article is the first
so it's already there. I missed those three.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's already there.
Yeah.
A good catch.
Yeah. So that's really what we have to do, is to write what's the objective of the paper, summarize it, write the significance as we see it from the paper and the innovation. It's right there. Now let's look at the methodology. The author presented a multi-section robot with, okay, so you are summarizing mechanical design of kinematics of the author presented the wire robot, okay. Planning the FTL approach, validation study. The first test validated the accuracy. Okay, metrics. So the first two experiments actually was very, I think we need to read this paper very well, and it looks like you are using the same structure, but inside you are doing the analysis. So it confirms with what we were saying.
Okay, so it makes more sense now that you explain it.
Yeah.
So we then have, so data analysis, we have some results, like in summarizing the results from each section, the FTL, the accuracy, the deviation with some data. Conclusion.
Now in the references, you will have to put the same the paper itself. Now, do you, in the references, do you just put the paper itself that you analyzed, which is paper number 3 or paper number 2, whichever one you did or I did, or you put the paper and its references? I think you just put the paper itself as your reference, right?
Usually, I would do the one paper that I am working with.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And I guess that should be the way, because that is where you're highlighting the paper that you picked.
Yep.
I mean, it wouldn't harm if we read two papers, but that will be too much. Okay, so going back to the assignment, so so we have this in Overleaf already, a format that states what is in the first action here, which is discussing the significance, innovation, methods, and results in the synopsis. The format is here in RBE501 zip file. We're going to write it down. We need to also look at the rubrics.
Yep.
Which highlights the significance and innovation discussions that we had as part of the previous assignment. Here's a method on how to extract the significance and innovation from a paper, which works. We need to use as much citations as possible as we talk about the different sections of the paper. And then we're supposed to put it in our group section, which will be right here, like at the bottom here. We have to upload it in PDF. And I guess then the next work later on would be to talk about each other's synopsis and comment on them and create a discussion on it. So that will be once we already uploaded the synopsis.
Which is due tomorrow. So now we are doing the Zoom meeting, which is required, and I think after we're done with the Zoom meeting, we are going to also post it, publish it, and then after this, tomorrow, we should upload the PDF document before the required timeline. This is due Tuesday, February 25th, so I assume before 11:59, right?
Yeah, because this is kind of a hidden assignment.
Yeah.
I don't know if this follows the rule, because usually is before 11:59 of Monday.
No, no. This is due Tuesday, tomorrow. So before
Right, but
11.
tomorrow is 12:15. It's 12 a.m.
No, 12 p.m. at night. 12. Well, when it turns 11 p.m. and then 12 a.m., it will be Wednesday. So you have all day tomorrow, right?
Well, because there's no time here, I guess we should have the entire day tomorrow.
That's what I'm assuming. Yes.
Yeah.
We should have the and then we just okay, and then we will schedule a meeting with Dr. Hatta's assistant to do the presentation.
Right. So here we will talk about each other. We will present the synopsis to each other and Dr. Hatta. We should take 20 minutes. Oh, wow.
Okay. So we both, what I would recommend to do is that it will help us to be prepared for the presentation is after we do our work and finish it and post it tomorrow, maybe we can do another Zoom meeting where each one of us would have read the other's paper, and then each one says what he thinks. This way, or explains his paper to the other person, then says what he thinks. This way, we are sort of practicing the presentation and getting more ideas and feedback.
I agree.
And then this way, we're ready for the meeting with Dr. Hatta.
Yeah, that way we can maybe fine tune the synopsis as well.
Yep.
Like make any corrections or improvements before we do the official presentation to Dr. Hatta.
I think that would be good. Yes. Okay, good.
All right, so looks like that once we do this presentation, which should take 20 minutes, so we need to create material for 20-minute discussion, that we're basically done with the 100-point assignment. So this is a very important, and it is stated up here that has to be, so he's saying like critically read the paper.
Mm-hmm. And I
seems
think,
like,
yeah.
Seems like he's expecting like us using all of the tools he has showed us pretty good to get good ratings.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
You think this will be in the individually or good question. Or we're both of our assignments will make the 100 points.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe part of it will be the Zoom discussion. Part of it will be how we both, because maybe the 20 minutes is not all us presenting. I'm sure Dr. Hatta will ask some questions and we'll see what we have learned from each other too. So it might be a combination, but I wouldn't worry about it too much at this point about the time. I would just do the work, do the paper, get it ready, make sure each one of us analyzed it properly, make sure we have good talking points. We know what we are speaking about, we understand it, we can present it in a logical and smart way, and I think that would be sufficient.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna start writing now or reading the paper now and start writing the synopsis.
Yep.
And then do you want to meet before we upload them to the drive, or should we just upload them regardless and we may have different versions uploaded based on our discussion later?
I think that is better this way. Each one can present his work and then we can analyze it and dissect it afterwards. But yes, I think each one of us can upload what he came up with. And then we need to invite Dr. Hatta and have the presentation before March 3rd, correct?
So before, well, actually, yep. Where is that? Let me go to the assignment.
Okay. So I think we can stop recording now.
right? Oh, well.